top of the world, about to jump above it. Take it straight to the moon, 'cause we know how to rock it. Ain't no thing you can do, ain't no way to stop it. Now you're feeling it too, let's get it started. Throw your hands in the air while the beat is dropping. Acting like you don't care when everybody's watching. Just keep whipping your hair like that, you got it. Yeah, you're feeling it too, let's get it started. I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started. Charts off the meter, turn it up, blow the speakers, make them all to believers. Break through the surface, tell them open the curtains, give them all what they wanted. Yeah, now let's get it started. Let's get it, get it. Yeah, I'm ready, ready. I'm ready. Are you ready, ready? I'm ready. Let's get it started. Yeah, yeah, I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Let's go. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it, get it. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me something new. Time to break it loose. Take it to another level. Now we on the move. Shout if you coming with me. Going over the limit. On your mark, keep it steady. So tell me, are you ready? I'm ready, ready. Yeah, let's get it, get it. Yeah, yeah. I'm ready, ready. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started.
Dover, Delaware, home to the Dover International Speedway, a speedway that has held home to USAC, IRL, NASCAR, and now tonight, the SIM500 Esports Racing League invades with the Transervice Blizzard Cup Series. Hello and welcome, race fans, back to LSRTV, your home for sim racing since 2012. Tonight in the booth, I'm Brandon Kreutz, along with co-commentator John Mustian and Charles Wooten downstairs in the production trailer. And John, Dover International Speedway, it should be a good show here tonight.
Well, Brandon, these guys never fail to produce some fun and interesting and very exciting racing. This is the third race of the series. We had a good one last week at Auto Club. I look forward to watching these guys on the high banks of Dover. 140 laps, man. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you had talked to some of these guys earlier, estimating about 86 to 92 laps of fuel. And they're really not worried about tire wear tonight, which is kind of unusual for this racetrack. But, of course, we are using the Next-Gen Cup package. And still some unknowns here with this package. But should provide for some really good, close, hard-nosed racing.
Absolutely. These guys are treating these, 9, 10 races in this series as kind of a get-to-know-the-car kind of thing. It's a kind of new car for most of these guys, you know. That being said, when NASCAR releases the final specs on the real-life next-gen car, I'm sure iRacing's probably going to update this vehicle as well. But for now, this is what the guys got. And I talked to some of the guys earlier, as you said, and they don't see tire wear as being much of an issue in practice. However, when the track heats up during the race, it could become maybe something to look at after 30 or 40 laps. It might get a little slick for them. I guess we'll wait and see.
Absolutely. So it's going to be a little bit of a guessing game here tonight, I think, strategy-wise. I think everybody's going to try to be kind of on the same page here, John. But, of course, you know what happens when I say that. And, especially in these unknowns, is some of these guys like to change my mind about that. And, it should just be a good show here. And, of course, something different about these cars, especially coming off the restarts and everything, and different package, 5-speed sequential transmission, and some bad, fast blazing speeds just through the corners here at Dover, high banks all the way around this place.
Yeah, and one thing about this car, Brandon, to keep in mind, the contact patch is much bigger than the normal Cup car. The contact patch, that being the part of the tire that actually contacts concrete, is, I think they said, almost 20% bigger all the way around. So that gives these guys a lot more grip, which gives them a lot more, I don't know, what do you call it, courage or confidence going into these turns to drive it hard in there and know that it's going to stick. So that's, that's one thing to keep in mind about this car versus the old Gen 6 car.
Absolutely right. And, we want to give their sponsors some love. SIM500 Blizzard Cup Series is brought to you by Trans-Service, established in 1969. A history of service, a tradition and excellence. And, obviously they're helping us bring you the broadcast by helping out this series. So need to give them some love as well. And, well, John, I know you know this series a heck of a lot better than I do. What's something to watch for with these drivers that we have here tonight?
Well, last week's winner, Bentley Glazer, is on top of the speed boards right now in practice. Well, he was until about 2 laps ago. Then Daniel Falkingham, another guy to keep your eye on. He is a previous champion for the Cup Series cars and the Xfinity Series. He's really fast, knows how to get around this track in particular. Another name to keep your eye on, Donnie Leah. Donnie Leah is a real-life modified winner. Drove the Mystic Missile for a while. That's a good guy to keep your eye on. Let's see, Kevin DeBrown's another one to keep your eye on. Chad Coleman, he's had some bad luck the last couple of weeks, but he's usually pretty fast. Shannon Wood. I mean, this field is full of fantastic drivers. There's just so many of them, and a lot of them are real-life racers too. So that just adds a little more competition into the mix. So if I'm a betting man though, I'm putting my money on Glazer.
Yeah, just from looking at practice, he looks like the one to beat. Looking at our weather conditions here, 78 degrees, partly cloudy, winds not to worry about, track temp sitting right around 100 degrees. So this thing might get a little bit slick here as the race goes on and these guys start to put some serious heat into this while running in that pack. But 0 on the timer for practice. We're going to head into qualifying now, and we're going to see what these guys have for hot lap.
Yeah, the hot lap's going to be real important because what we noticed last week at Auto Club and in the very first race is that passing is really difficult to do, and it's already difficult at Dover. Usually Dover is a one-groove track for most of the race, so you're going to want to qualify as good as you can here. And, like I said, it's a premium. Positioning is a premium.
Yeah, we don't normally consider Dover as a multi-groove racetrack, and sometimes you can maybe get that second line to work, but, the bottom is typically the fastest way around here, and that leaves track position as key here at the Speedway, and these guys are going to have to do the best they can to get off to a good start early in this thing.
Oh, I love that paint scheme right there. We're looking at Glazer on screen now. He's got that Mountain Dew USA paint scheme that Junior ran for a while. That's a good-looking car. I like that.
Yeah, that is solid. I love the look of these next-gen race cars as well, and kind of taking a whole new meaning from street car to racetrack. So they look really sharp.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, they look a lot closer to their the actual street version that you can buy straight from a car. I'll get this out eventually. A showroom is what I'm trying to say. And I'm really hoping, now I don't know if you've heard the rumors, but there's a rumor going around that Dodge might be returning in 2023 to the Cup Series, and I'm hoping that comes to fruition because I think getting a Dodge out there on this in this series would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see now that the scoring, Bentley's Glazer's last lap was 22.598. That's pretty bad fast around this place, and it's going to be a little bit better that time around 22.363 for Bentley Glazer.
Yeah, that's actually faster than his practice time.
Yeah, absolutely. Fast around this Dover International Speedway, and see if anybody has anything for that for the pole position here.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's wow. 22.3 is all in the mail, man. That's just incredible. And like I said, he's fast. I mean, he would have probably been doing a lot better in the first race. He probably would have had a better finish, but he got caught up in somebody else's wreck, which, you know, is always a hazard here. But I tell you what, I just can't get over that speed, man. 22.3. Wow. It's just crazy.
Looking at car number 26, that's going to be Jose Gonzalez out there on the racetrack now. He's going to try to turn a fast lap here, and he's going to run that high line, try to get up the speed lap here, and I'm sure he'll shoot down low this time at a turn 1. He's looking pretty fast so far. 23.089 for lap number 1, 23.089 for Jose Gonzalez. He dives down.
That's a pretty good. That's
right
a
up
pretty good
against that
first
outside
lap.
wall on exit. This one's looking to be pretty good too. Had to feather a little bit there on the exit of turn 4. See what he's got for him. 22.440 for the 26 of Gonzalez.
Wow,
guys
Donnie Leah
showing
put
some
down
really
a
good lap times,
22.37. Yeah, I was just looking at
These
Donnie
guys-
Leah put down a 22.37. Man, that's fast.
Yeah, these guys putting down
Here
some
comes
really good lap
Falkingham.
times right now.
Here's one to keep your eye on right here. Falkingham. First lap's a 22.5. That's his first lap. It was a 22.5. My goodness. This could be the pole right here, depending on how he gets through 3 and 4 right here.
He's going to hit the exit of 4 this time. Looking good out of 4.
Yeah, that's going to be the pole right there, I'm pretty sure.
22.345. 22.345.
Oh,
And that is going to be the new quick
wow.
time so far, Daniel Falkingham.
200ths of a second, man. Here's Joey Jatina right here. This is the league owner I was talking about. Joey has also raced in real life. He raced ARC cars, and if I'm not mistaken, he actually put. Oh, wow!
Nearly upside
That's
down is
not
number
the way to
14
get
in
there.
qualifying. Joey Jatina taking a hard lick. It was a pretty car at one point.
Yeah.
And it looks like time is going to expire on the qualifying clock, and I do believe Daniel Falkingham will have your quick time of the night here in qualifying.
That's Falkingham Glazer on your front row right there, and Bentley is last week's winner, so he's going to be definitely one to look out for when we go green during the race. Of course, it is 140 laps, Brandon, so anything can happen, but he's already starting off good by being up front like that.
So as we start, we're going to bring you your LSRTV starting lineup. Starting on the pole. We're gonna hold that starting lineup just for a moment. We're wondering what's going on with our overlay system. They did provide a quick warm-up for these drivers here. Our producer's laughing down there in the trailer. We can hear him. John, there's always something to look out for, huh?
It's Monday. It's Monday. That's all.
It is a Monday. We got to remember this. All right, as the clock strikes 0 one more time. Let's try this one more time. Starting on pole, your quick top of the night is going to be the car 39, Daniel Falkingham. Starting his outside, row number 1, outside pole is going to be the 18 of Bentley Glazer. Starting in row 2, it's going to be on the inside, number 7, Donnie Leah. Starting in his outside, in the 4th position, that's going to be Tommy Rain. Inside, row number 3, Kevin Brown. They're going to be starting inside row number 3 in the 93. John?
Outside of him, Jose Gonzalez. Row 4, Chad Coleman, a 38 car. Outside of Chad will be Mike Montesi in the 21 car. In row 5, we got Mike Kelly in the 2 car. To his outside will be Bobby Wetzel in that number 9 Dodge. Inside row 6, Charles Woods in the 40 car. Outside of him, Anthony M. Calantoni in the 84. Row 7, inside Robert Frieri III, 77 car. To his outside, Richard Beasley in the Tide Ride, number 10. Inside row 8, Jay Randall Watkins driving the 27 car, and John Fowler to his outside, the 00. Row 9, the 3 of Jeff Ryan, and outside of him, the 09 of Chris Williams. And that's going to be your lineup for tonight. And get ready, folks. Hold on to it. We're about to go green here. Brandon, what do you think, man? You got a pick for me?
There is 30 cars starting this race tonight, and I'm going to have to go with your pole sitter, man. He was showing some really bad fast lap times here all throughout practice and through qualifying, and I think he's going to be my pick, Daniel Foggingham, to win this thing here tonight.
Well, I'm sticking to my guns, man. I think Glazer's going to pull off the repeat win this week. He looks bad fast himself. Well, here we go, bud.
Tighten those belt straps one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, hang on to your wigs. The stars and cars of SIM500 Racing League are ready to rumble. They come out of turn 4, and they are going to see the green flag this time. Green flag is in the air.
Glazer gets an outstanding start on the outside, but he's not going to be able to hold on to it. He's going to fall to second, maybe further back. Falkingham pulls out to the lead. Meantime, it's 2 by 2 back there, and getting down to the bottom is going to be premium here, Brandon.
And Glazer does manage to get down there in car number 18, and there's going to be a gaggle of race cars back behind him as everybody fights for that track position.
Absolutely. Donnie Leah pulls right up on the back bumper there of Glazer, thinking about maybe trying to loosen him up and get that third spot. In the meantime, we got guys slicing and dicing in the back of the pack, trying to get down off that high side before they lose too many spots. It's a danger here at Dover. But if these guys are smart about it, they can get in single file eventually and just ride this out for a little while. Get a feel for how the car works.
Yeah, absolutely. 140 laps around this place is quite the long time. And, you know, these guys are going to be wheeling and dealing pretty much this whole race here with, you know, as we stated earlier, they're not really too concerned about tire wear. So that's going to be something to look out for. Is I see a battle for second starting to emerge up there possibly. And we may have had a swap for positions. I think Glazer fell back to third. Donnie Leah moves up to second.
Yeah, Glazer's probably just going to go ahead and let him go. He knows he's faster right now, and that's okay. Like we said, it's 140 laps. He's just going to settle in, let his car settle in, and get a feel for how it's going to do on the long run. And I touched on this during practice. Leah's also fast. We can't really count him out. But he's also one of those guys, he's going to be a little bit more aggressive than most folks and push that car as hard as he can for the first few laps to see how it will handle being pushed hard.
Absolutely right. And, well, these guys are right up on each other, nose to tail, and that's about the whole top 10 under a blanket here. Is Donnie Leah's going to pull right up to the back bumper of your leader. Falkingham going to ride his line and just see what these cars are doing, as we've already said. And these guys going to just ride it out single file for the moment. And one thing I'm noticing, John, is Donnie Leah kind of riding about a half a lane to a lane off of the bottom of the racetrack here.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, Brandon. I haven't run this car at this particular track yet, but I do know that in the Gen 6 car, that's where it feels the best when you start the run early on. It doesn't feel like if you get down too low, it really wants to wash up on exit. But if you go in too high, you can't get it low enough, and you'll wind up washing up. So usually about a lane and a half up from the bottom is where you want to start off at. Now, as you see right there, he went in a little bit harder than he normally does and was able to make it stick down. And I touched that on earlier. This car's got a hell of a contact patch, man. So I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to figure out where it runs best at. Doesn't seem to be running bad at all, though, does it?
No, not at all. You know, one thing that differs from this car, you said that they've got that larger contact patch, but one thing that concerns me a little bit, especially on colder tires, John, is that lower profile sidewall. They don't have as much grip to rely on off the softness
right.
or stiffness of that sidewall. And, you know, so these guys really just got to feel it out the first couple of laps here, especially on these cold tires.
Especially
and we do have
on
a
the
caution.
tires.
Caution is out on the speedway.
Uh-oh. Oh, my
We
goodness.
see mayhem
got a lot
down
of
in,
cars looking the wrong way there.
I believe that's turn number 1. That is turn 1 down there. We got a couple of cars facing backwards. I'll go back on replay, see what happened. Holtz Popper's instant replay shows it all, and see if we can find anything. These guys were battling it out pretty hard all the way around this place. side-by-side racing. There was contact made all the way from turn 4, and that resulted in mayhem and one hard contact from that 40 machine up into the outside wall, and more from the 0-4. So few of these guys getting collected up early in this race, only 10 laps in.
Yeah, it looks like somebody was being maybe a little overly aggressive. Sorry. I guess he wasn't done hitting this. He wanted to fix that right front fender a little bit there, but
I
don't know.
It
looked to me like a little aerodynamic adjustment there. It just looked on that replay like maybe this 2 cars going for the same spot on the track. I don't know, but I've never seen that work out for anybody, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you know, this place is tough too. You come out side by side, and these high bankings, right where it drops off, both the inside and outside line are going to get a little bit squirrely there just on the exit of that banking, and I think that's exactly what happened. They came together and total racing deal, but it sucks for those guys involved.
It really does. You get so much speed coming up out of those turns that it really launches the car to the outside, and you know, when you're by yourself, it's hard enough to keep the car straight. But when you've got somebody to your outside, you know you're trying to stay off of them, or vice versa. If you're on the outside, you know you got a guy down there on the inside. He's going to be coming at you pretty quick. You want to make sure he's got room to do what he needs to do. So it's unfortunate, and it's unfortunate that it took us a few cars out. But it's early in the race. Even though there's no fix-its or quick repairs for these guys, they can get in there and get some of that damage fixed and hopefully get back out on track and be somewhat competitive.
Yeah, they'll, you know, they'll be better off. Some of these guys are going to try to stay in the lead lap. A couple of those harder hits, I think, may be done for the night. We saw that 40 car hit really hard to the outside wall head on, and they'll be visiting the virtual infield care center there after that one, I think.
Yep, that's that was
right now.
Rough
Daniel
hit.
Fockingham's still out front of this thing, John.
Yeah, Fockingham's out front, and you know it was way too early for anybody to pit for any reason. Not even to fuel up. We touched on it. They should be able to go with one stop. So these guys are probably just going to try and stay out as long as they can, irregardless of their caution or green, whatever. I wouldn't look for anybody to pit until probably lap 70, 75, somewhere around there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they only get one set of tires, too.
Yeah, so these guys, well, that would work out pretty good. Especially, you know, you had talked to these guys earlier, as we said before, but 86 to 92 laps of fuel estimated that these guys can run. So they're going to try to run with it, and they're double dub stacked up, ready to go. Green flag racing once again, this time out of 4. Take it away.
Yeah, keep your eyes on Donnie Lee in that 7 car. He's laying back a little bit. He's trying to be sneaky, I guess. But you got Falkham chose the outside, even though he's the leader. He's going to choose that outside line. See if he can't get a good blast coming off the line right here. We'll see what happens. Got Glazer down there in 3rd and Jose Gonzalez back there in 4th. And here they come. The pit car is off, down the banking, coming around the corner to the start box. And there's the green flag, and Falkham gets a great jump out to the lead right there with Donnie Lee falling in 2nd. And it looks like Glazer's going to maintain 3rd with Jose Gonzalez falling down to the bottom line there in 4th.
Fantastic restart from car 3-9. Daniel Falkingham and Donnie Lee are going to fall in behind him. A gaggle of race cars, as you saw back there, all the way about mid-pack down the front, the back straightaway rather. And these guys going to be trying to fight it out for position. These restarts can be crucial at times.
Yeah, you're kind of torn. I mean, you don't want to race too hard and wind up wrecking yourself. At the same time, you don't want to be stuck on that outside line and getting freight trained by half the field. So, you know, it's just, you know, who's going to give you the room to get down, I guess, and who do you trust to try and let you come down like that? But they'll get it worked out. These guys are pretty good about that. I like that 27 car right there. I'm kind of partial to it because that's my name on the bumper sticker there. I painted that car. That's Randall Watkins.
That's Randall Watkins back there, and these guys starting to fight it out. You can see how
Miami-Dade.
You can see how out of these corners. You'll see it right here out of 4. These cars get really upset on this banking here, and it's a big drop off. They're going from the corner to the front straightaway and the back straightaways, and these cars just get really loose, either really loose or really tight. There's no in between coming out of that banking.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson, I think, explained it best a few years ago. The car.
Wow! Your leader gets loose right there. Look at Donnie Lee overtaking from the outside. Daniel Falkingham got really loose here out of turn 4, and he gathers it back up. He's going to have his target set now.
Yeah, that could have been catastrophic, Brandon. We could have seen probably 8 or 9 of the top 10 wiped out right there. But Falkingham got wicked loose on exit of 4 right there. We were just talking about that. The car, as Jimmy put it, it unloads. Like what that means is when it comes up out of that turn, all of the centrifugal force just dumps off of that car, and it wants to turn around. And we saw that just then with Daniel Falkingham. In the meantime, we got a really good 2x2 fight here between the 27 of Watkins and the 54 of, that's Jimmy Coleman, no relation to Chad Coleman. He's trying to take that spot away. In the meantime, the 8's probably going to try and sneak back. That's Randy Yoakum with a very different looking paint scheme this week. I'm trying to figure out what that is.
Side by side battling. That's 6 race cars under a blanket right there. And it looks like that bottom line going to prevail as we see all these guys trying to slip by. A couple of positions being lost from car 27. And now almost 3 wide into turn 1. Hairy stuff.
Yeah, 3 wide doesn't usually work very well. Not even here at Dover, believe it or not. But man,
I can't tell you how many
was...
times I haven't seen 3 wide work here.
Yeah, no doubt, right? The only time I've seen it work is when the cars were already backwards and they were just kind of all spinning through the turn to 3 wide. That's about the only time I've seen it work. Yeah,
These
it's
guys
not a good idea.
kind of just riding around right now, though. These guys kind of just riding
really
around.
Surprised.
And, you see Bentley Glazer, he may be under attack
to be honest
here.
with you. We got a car in the pits. Who's that? Wood? The 02? Huh. Looks like he might have had some issues there. He might have some damage. Yeah.
See car 1
We started this race with, what, 30 cars on track? Yeah.
Slow car down the back, straight away. Look out. That's going to be the 27 Watkins. He's going to be coming pit side. Almost got nailed down the back straight away coming into turn 3.
He's probably got some issues going on, technical issues. From what I understand, he's racing with a VR headset tonight, and I can't hear the in-track audio, but
race implications for car 27. And he's going to fall pit side. So we'll have to keep an eye on him.
Meantime, Leah has stepped out to a half a second lead above the rest of the field. And that just tells me he is not taking it easy, Brandon. He's throwing caution to the wind. He wants to stretch his lead out as much as he can. And if I'm not mistaken, it looks like he's about to catch up to a slower car, and the slower car is going ahead and dive down the inside and get out of the way there. That's nice.
Yeah, and well, I'm looking at Bentley Glazer right now, John, and I'm going to be honest, he's starting to get a freight train forming behind him, and these guys are all going to want to get around here soon. As you see a little bit of impatience already. One car going to dive to the inside, or at least look to the inside, back behind them, and no position's going to get gained there. But, yeah, Bentley's got a little bit of train forming behind him, and I think he's going to have company.
Yeah, it's going to be Kevin DeBrown, Mike Kelly, Tommy Ryan, those guys. And it looks like Jose Gonzalez might want to put a bid there for 3rd place. I don't know. He keeps peaking a little bit, and then he backs off a little bit. The way to pass on this track, without getting the guy in front of you loose and wrecking him, is you get up on his bumper as close as you can going through the turns, and you try to feather your throttle just a little bit to give you a good cut down to the left and get up alongside of him going down into the next set of turns down the straightaway there. I've seen it done plenty of times. The best guy that I've seen do it, though, is Falkingham. This guy is a master at creating passes on this track where it's usually very hard to pass at.
Yeah, absolutely. And now looks like Gonzalez closed right in. We got a couple of race cars here under a blanket back behind them. And Tommy Ryan looking like he was going to maybe peak there, and he's going to stay where he is. It's like Mike Kelly is going to try to look underneath.
Yeah, watch the 2-car of Mike Kelly. He's trying to do what I was talking about.
Yeah, it
just seems like maybe this car doesn't have
up against that back bumper.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like this car has a very good suck up to it. You know, I don't know what the real term is, but that's what we call it on track. Is the car just does not suck up the car in front of you very well. Uh,
So car 2, Mike Kelly. We're looking at him. The 93, that's who's in front of him, Kevin Brown. And yeah, these guys all just kind of riding right now, John, and it's kind of what we expected.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't want to take too big of a risk right now. It's still really early in the race. Only lap 31 of 140. Haven't even reached halfway yet. So they're going to try. They're just going to try this, try that, see how things handle. But I'm telling you, once we get past the 3/4 mark of this race, it's really going to pick up. These guys give no quarter and ask none in return kind of attitude.
Yeah, a lot of give and take early in the stages of this race, and yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. They're saving their stuff right for the end of this race, as they should. And it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Brandon. I mean, none of these guys have ever raced this car at this track. So really, the only practice they got was tonight. And so this was to be expected. It's going to be, I wouldn't say boring, but not quite as eventful a first half of the race, because these guys are all very smart drivers and they know it's a long race, so they're going to take it easy. But that was to be expected.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, 34 laps complete here. This race has a pretty good feeling green flag run, and it'll be interesting to see what happens if this thing does stay green, as we see Mike Kelly dive to the inside of car number 93. And Kelly looking like he is going to have a good shot at taking that, and along with him, he may drag 3 other cars with him.
He might, but look at that. Brown powering back by on the outside, but he's not going to be able to hold it, especially the way he went into turn 3 and 4 right there. Now, we got a slow car right in front of them. This guy was damaged earlier in that incident, the first incident we had, so they're going to have to navigate around him, and they do so successfully. That was a really good example of how to pass here at Dover National Speedway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds
right.
like
and,
somebody's
you know,
getting bored.
One thing that kind of impresses me, John, is how well that outside actually kind of worked there for the car 93, and we got a caution on the racetrack.
Yeah, just as I say that they're going to take it easy and not cause any uneventful stuff. Let's see
Caution
that's Randy
number
Yoakum.
2 of the night.
That'll be Randy Yoakum in the 8 car. Let's see what happened here.
Holtz Bopper's instant replay here at LSRTV, and see if he had any help here. Coming out of 2. Oh, he got big loose,
wow.
and amazingly he didn't get any more damage out of
car.
that. But
wow,
there was definitely some
that guy
contact.
in that red and white car was probably screaming to himself.
And race fans, we're going to dive off to a quick commercial break while we have the opportunity. We'll be right back with you.
An automobile purchase shouldn't be hard. The hardest part for the consumer in the whole process should be selecting the vehicle. We have the online credit application. We can bring the car to you to see it, to test drive it, to deliver it. We have all the tools in place, and we've had them in place for a long time. I just think now we've perfected it. It's become part of our culture. We've, kind of taken it to the next level. It is easy, and it should be easy, and it should be fun, and it shouldn't take a whole lot of time.
Hey, it's Wesley Outland on the set of the Bull Ring on Speed 51 TV, but I also want to remind everybody that you can keep up with coverage of esports with the Northwest Cup and Truck Series, the American iRacing League, S&B Cup Series, and so much more on your home for sim racing, LSRTV. Of course, remember, you can watch it, and then you can listen to it on CRN, the community radio network at wearecrn.com. Check us out when you can.
And race fans, we are back here at the Dover International Speedway, the SIM500 Trans-Service Blizzard Cup Series, and these guys, quick caution here, and I think they're going to end up getting stacked up and doubled up this time around, but quick shout out to the series sponsor. The SIM500 Blizzard Cup Series is brought to you by Trans-Service, established in 1969, a history of service, a tradition, and excellence. And of course, without them, this broadcast would not be possible to be brought to you race fans. And, well, I think John is having some internet issues, so I will be solo just for a couple of minutes here, and hopefully he can get things sorted out on his end. So these guys are stacked up, doubled up, ready to go back green flag racing once again here at the Dover International Speedway. And some pretty good racing that we've seen so far. A lot of side-by-side off of these restarts especially, and now that pit stops have commenced here for the first time tonight for some of these guys. It'll be interesting to see what happens on cold tires.
Yeah, I completely missed the pit stops, so I don't know.
Oh, well, good to have you back here, John, as pace car pulls off here for the third time tonight, and already Daniel Hawkins is off and away, and green flag is back in the air.
Yes, it is, and of course, Falkingham gets out to a great start right there. Sorry about that, folks. Power just went bloop on my end, so it came back on really quick, too, so that's good news. Falkingham gets a really decent start. So we got Gonzalez, Kevin DeBrown, and Mr. Bentley Glazer, last week's winner, and Donnie Lee is your top five there. What did I miss during pit stops?
Well, you did miss a commercial break, so that was good good timing on your part. But no, nothing huge to note. Not a lot of position shifts here, other than 93 of Kevin DeBrown is up to the third position here. He got a really good restart there, and Bentley Glazer going to be tracking him real hard here in car number 18.
Did these guys take tires or anything like that?
A couple of guys did end up taking tires, but it looks like, I'm surprised there ain't a whole lot of movement here on some of these guys with the cold tires. So really interesting to note here, and I think it's something that you went back to and said earlier. It's such a large surface area touching the track as we see Glazer diving to the inside. Such a large surface area that tires hitting the track that these guys really are just able to grip up and go.
Yeah, and I don't know if you had a chance to drive this car yet on the service, but you can feel it if you do like maybe 10 laps of the track in the Gen 6 and then hop into, we got another caution on track. Caution
flies once again. Oh man, big damage to car number 70, and we're going to have to go back on replay and see just what happened to him. Tyler Hunter hit something really hard there and destroyed the front end of that race car. We'll see what happens coming out of 2. I'm going to guess he probably lost it out of 2 and slid to the inside wall.
Yeah, you can see his nose sliding a little bit. Oh, no.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, man.
That was Mike Kelly, who was running top 5. That was Mike Kelly in the 2 car, who was up there running top 5 before that last commercial break.
Mike Kelly just totally got really squirrely on the exit of 2. We'll watch it here again. and real squirrely the last time out of turn 2. You see, those guys were battling for about a whole lap there before that incident, and Kelly did manage to get out ahead, and they head down into turn 1 here. You'll see it this time at a 2 where the incident happened, riding on board with Tyler Hunter. And get ready to hang on to your heads because this one's going to be a doozy. Kelly just totally lost his foot off the track and ring around the rosy when Tyler Hunter, and that's going to end his night.
Yeah, pretty much. There's no fixing that. We see another car in the pits there. That would be the Navy car. I believe the 88 car was in the pits. Same thing, no front end. And like we touched on earlier, Brandon, there are no quick fixes. Fast repair? Yeah, fast repair. All right. I never use them, so I don't know what the hell they're called. But but I wish we could get this thing to go like 50 laps green. I would love to see how these cars start to drive after 50 laps on the tires under conditions of a green flag, because we're not really getting a feel for that under yellow.
No, we're not. But
see.
It's Dover's a really, really tough track, and especially this is kind of a new car to these guys. As you said, this is only round 3 for these guys of the series, and it is tough when introducing a whole new race vehicle and running speeds in excess of 170 miles an hour around, especially a place like Dover. Miles the Monster really reaching out for some of these cars here tonight.
Oh yeah, Miles is hungry and he loves race cars. That's his favorite thing. And I see Falkingham playing with the safety car. Excuse me. He's got to be careful doing that. I'm gonna tell you why. Funny story. Hey, look, man, I was playing with the pace car one time too, and I used to like to get up inside of it. Like you can drive up inside of it, right? And I did that one time in a race. I was leading the NIS official race. Did that under caution and didn't realize that we were crossing the start-finish line, and they black flagged me for passing the pace car. Cost me the race. I'm telling you. I mean, I was like, I'm passing the pace car. I was just playing with the pace car. What are you talking about? And I had to go all the way to the back of a 38-car field, man.
That's one of the things that differs from real life, I guess, is you won't hear that somebody was inside of the pace car under yellow. Of course, here on the iRacing service, it is a little bit different, but
I don't know how far back you go with sim racing, Brandon, but back in the old days, NASCAR Racing Papyrus 2002 season, the pace car was a solid object, right? So we had a league race at Pocono one time, and there was a caution, and the pace car came out and literally wiped out half the field, just driving straight up through the middle of the field. I mean, just wrecked almost, 20 cars out of the entire league race. I wiped them out, man. Like it launched 2 or 3 of them clean off the racetrack. So that's a big difference these days, that somebody finally went and realized, oh, hey, we should probably make it a non-collision object on track. But anyway, just a little old man's tale. When I was your age kind of thing. So.
Well,
did you just call me an old wife, Cody?
Well, unsurprisingly, nobody went into the pits that time around, and these guys are stacked up, doubled up, and ready to go back green flag racing once again here. The pace car about ready to pull off for the 4th time tonight. John, take it away.
And like the man said, the pace car's got everybody stacked up at pace speed. He's about to duck down on pit road. You got Falkingham on the inside this time, Jose Gonzalez on the outside. And I think this is the 2nd restart where Daniel has chosen the inside line. He chose the outside line previously, and there we are, off to a fast start right there. The thing about these restarts, folks, is on the driver's command. He goes when he wants to, and that gives that guy that's in first a great advantage. In the meantime, you see Tommy Ryan taking a spot away from Bentley Glazer, and that's going to shake up the top 5 a little bit. And then we have some 2 stacks going on in the back of those guys. Looks like we've got Joey Jatina up there fighting for a top win. He got cracked both the first 2 races, looking to do better tonight.
Joey Jatina, car number 14, he managed to muscle his way up a couple of positions. He's sitting in the 8th spot now, and look out, a couple of cars getting squirrely back behind him. Everybody manages to gather back up.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that was. It was the 84 car? Yeah, it was Calantoni. Anthony Calantoni got into the wall a little bit there on exit of the turn, which just cost him a bunch of momentum. And like you said, bottlenecked everybody behind him. but they all managed to keep it straight and keep going. And luckily, we did not have another caution.
Big time block right there you saw by car number 38, and he manages to hold on to that position. But man, something's getting a little bit sketchy. Battle for second up here now. Here comes the number 93. That's Kevin Brown. Jose Gonzalez to his outside. You got 4 or 5 cars underneath the blanket down the back straightaway. Look out, everybody getting squirrely.
Yeah, Tommy Ryan caught the outside wall on exit that time. That car launched itself up into the outside wall, and we have a car off pace. That's the 00, it looks like. Yep, John Fowler's off pace going into the pits.
So still got a battle for second. Fowler going to clear the racetrack, and car number 93 to the inside, 26 to the outside, side by side. This time out of turn 4. And close quarters racing there out of turn 4 down into turn 1.
Jose is holding himself quite nicely up there in that middle to high line. He's able to hold off the fight from DeBrown down on the inside. Looked like Kevin might have gotten a little loose on exit of 4 last time by, but he kept it straight and he kept right up there on the inside of the 26 car. And look at that, kind of side drafts him a little bit. Brandon coming off of 3 and 4. Ooh. And give second place to Kevin DeBrown that time by.
That drew the cars behind him up now, and it looks like that's going to be Donnie Leah back there. Almost some contact. Big wreck down the back straightaway. 3-4 cars involved. There goes the field back behind them. There's the 10 involved. The 26 of Gonzalez is involved. Big implications here in this race on lap 55. Close quarters racing as we go back, look at the Pulse Poppers instant replay. And you see these guys, even out of turn 4, were battling really hard. Double some contact made there. They were 2x2 back behind them even. And, well, this is where the chaos starts, right here at a turn 2. And it looks like just a racing deal. They got together, sent the 26 up to the outside wall. And 3, 4, 5, 6 cars all involved in that. And such high speeds going into turn 3, John, and these guys just had nowhere to go.
Absolutely, Brandon. When a wreck happens here, it happens really fast, and usually it will take out 2 or 3 cars. And that time it looked a little bit, maybe the 26 car got up into the wall just a little bit on exit of that corner and then bounced back down when he was trying to correct the vehicle. And just it was on from there. And it took a lot of fast cars out. As you see right there on the screen, folks, Donnie Leah's 7 car, no front end. The 99 car side, the right side all smashed up. Jose Gonzalez, the 26 car, he's got damage pretty much on all 4 corners of the car. And that's unfortunate because those are some fast cars right there. Those 3 cars right there have been running top 5, top 10 all night long.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see cars on pit road. It looks like about 9th on back at a pit. The top 8 stay out. And so some of these guys are going to get new tires. Some of these guys facing some serious damage here to their race machines. And that'll be interesting to see what happens off of this restart now. As now the strategies are kind of split. So you got some guys that are in pit road and some guys that decided to stay out once again. Some of these guys are still on their original tires. So should be interesting.
Yeah. And what's going to really play into this is the guys that went in and got their damage fixed and decided to take tires. I wish we could tell, who took tires and who didn't. Sometimes it's very difficult to tell that, but it's unfortunate. I hate to see so many fast guys taken out in a wreck like that, Brandon, especially guys that, were running in the top 5 all night. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, I know you had said before we even came on the air is this car provides such close racing like that. There was bound to be some sort of conflict, and that was it right there. Big implications for a couple of these guys that have been running up front all night so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at the points, well, I was going to say looking at the points, but then apparently my webpage didn't pop back up after my power failed, so never mind. You got anything for me, Brandon? I'm going to throw it back to you.
Well, these guys.
I'm pretty sure. I was going to say, man, I was going to say that I'm pretty sure some of our points contenders were in that wreck, but I can't tell you now. I apologize for that.
go ahead and check the weather state here.
Oh.
And, well, track temp is actually a lot cooler than it was in practice. 77 degrees, winds not to worry about, still partly cloudy. And track temp sitting right at 91 degrees Fahrenheit and about 10 degrees cooler than it was in practice. And these guys carrying some pretty good speed around this concrete jungle.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed by that track temperature being lower. I would have thought it would have gone higher, but what do I know, right?
Well,
that's gonna.
the only
what
difference
that does is it lends it. No, go ahead.
The difference is that from here we've had a few cautions here. Practice was a really consistent race pace the whole time.
Yeah.
So these guys run under caution. They're able to pick up some of that rubber, pick up, let their tires cool, let that track temp cool off just a little bit. So it's not these guys constantly running around. So that plays a little bit of an effect, and it'll play definitely an effect to how these guys are racing one another. Is the confidence goes up with more grip in these race cars just with that little bit of cooler temperature, and it should be interesting. But these guys get stacked back up once again. They're going to get the signal to go green this time at a turn 4. The iRacing official pace car will make its way into pit lane this time by Daniel Falkingham to your inside. He's going to be your race leader and your control car off this restart. Mike Montesi going to be to his outside now after the mayhem that had just occurred. So pace car is off. Falkingham's going to be in control. And he's going to wait a little bit longer this time. Again, leader does have control over these restarts. And green flag is going to fly. And that strategy worked out real well. Another fantastic restart from car 39.
Yeah, he is so good at restarts. He is, I'm telling you, Brandon, he is the mastermind player, a mind game player when it comes to restarts. You never know what he's going to do. And as you see, he snookered the whole field right there. In the meantime, Glazer gets by the Cookie Monster car, the famous Cookies car of Mike Montesi there, that 21 car. And I told you at the top of the show, Glazer was one to keep your eyes on. Here we are, 60 laps into the race of a 140, and he's still hanging out there in the top 5.
Yeah, absolutely he is, and an impressive run all the way throughout the top 5 here so far. And obviously we've got some new faces now, as a good chunk of our top 10 was taken out in that incident. But these guys doing a really good job hanging on, and it looks like all these guys just going to single out so far for now. And I really don't expect any really hard racing from these guys until, I think you had said it earlier, John, about 3/4 mark in this race.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought at least. But as we've seen already, some of these guys, they don't listen to the announcers, Brandon. I don't know why. They act like we don't know what we're talking about.
Well,
but I tell you what,
we got some of these incidents out of the way. So
it looks like Glazer has caught Falkingham.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. 3 cars under a blanket back there, and so Falkingham, Glazer, and Montesi going to be riding back there, 3 cars, and they're going to stay nose to tail just for now. I don't expect a huge battle to break out, at least at this very moment. I think these guys are pretty content in riding unless the field catches back up to them. Keep in mind, we may very well have another round of pit stops to go here, so I think these guys are going to try to take their sweet time at the moment.
Yeah, let's see. Some of these cars, last time they pitted was lap 37. That's your top 7 cars. The last time they pitted was lap 37. So 80, what did I say, 86 laps on field was the minimum?
Yep.
So, yeah, they'll probably be coming in for gas, if only just gas, in about, another 40 laps or so.
And we do know that 40 laps goes by really quick here at the Dover International Speedway. So these guys, I think, content just riding right now. But we see kind of a gaggle back behind our top 3. It's going to be side-by-side racing. Looks like close racing back there up car 8, and I believe that's the 77 up there of Fury.
Yeah, Randy Yoakum's already had one incident tonight, but that's not going to slow him down at all as he fights hard with the 9 of Bobby Wetzel right there on the inside of him. And coming through there is Kevin DeBrown, Tommy Ryan right there in the 99. I think Randy's actually a lap or so down. Battle for the lead.
Or an attempted battle for the lead, and the camera's curse as we focus in on our leaders. And Glazer got a little bit loose going into one that time by, and he fell back just a tad. And now he's going to have company once again from car 2-1 of Montesi.
And that's what Falkingham wants to see. He wants to see those two start fighting with each other. Give him a little bit of a break. Let him focus on what's going on out front of his car. You know, he's got the best position in the house right now. He's got all that clean air on the nose of that car. It's going to go where he wants it to. And you saw that with Glazer a minute ago when Glazer tried to make his move. He got right up on the on the tail of Falkingham, it looked like. And possibly what it seemed like was maybe he got a little aero tight and then loose once his nose caught the air. So it's going to be fun to watch these three. These guys always put on a great show, these top three right here, especially Falkingham and Glazer.
So these guys are going to come to the halfway point of this time across the stripe. And, you know, one thing I've noticed about these cars so far tonight is, you know, at this specific racetrack anyways, is if you're able to get underneath somebody, it is pretty hard to complete that pass. And I think it's just because here at Dover, you need to use up that whole racetrack, especially at corner exit. The more you crank that wheel, the more momentum you lose or you scrub off, and it just makes it pretty hard to complete passes. As we see car 93 proving me wrong right there, but one car slid all the way up that racetrack.
Yeah, that's a really good point you made there, Brandon. Somebody told me that once. If the more input you put onto the wheel, the more speed you're going to scrub off. And at some point, you'll actually lose traction. And that's when your car gets that push on exit. So I really had a train of thought right there. But unfortunately, I was distracted. And I apologize for that. So back to you, Brandon.
We see a little bit of a battle going on up here, a little bit further back in the pack. And looks like it's going to be the 09 and the 84 going at it. And these guys are all going to be fighting each other. That's going to be 5 cars under a blanket back there so far. This 93 seems to be in every shot we've come across so far around the mid-pack. He's actually starting to work his way back up. I know he was one of the cars involved in that last caution there, John, and he's working his way back up through the field pretty nicely here.
Yeah, it's Kevin Brown, and he looks like he got his car fixed up. 2 cars ahead of him, that's Calantoni in the 84, and that 77 car Fieri. Calantoni was into the wall earlier. He didn't cause a caution, but he got up into the wall, and just kind of like what he did right there, he slid up a little bit on exit and got into the wall a little bit. He's going to let Fieri go and let Kevin Brown by because I'm guessing he realizes how fast Kevin is right now. We touched on this last week, Brandon. I know you weren't here, but that 77 car just tickles me. That is a throwback scheme to the Miller Genuine draft car that Rusty Wallace used to drive back in the day. And every time I see it, I just chuckle because, man, I put away some MGDs back in my time.
Yeah, that is wheeled by Robert Frieri, and he's doing a pretty solid job here tonight. He's up in the top 10, trying to peek at a top 5. And he is right knocking on the back door of Williams in that 09.
Yeah, this is a good run for Chris Williams in the 09. He's had a couple of bad luck streaks himself in the last couple of weeks. So he's looking at hopefully finishing off this race at least a top 5, maybe a fight for 3rd or 4th if he's lucky. You see just ahead of him there, Coleman in the 38 car, Chad Coleman. Chad's had a rough couple of weeks in this series, also getting caught up in wrecks. So he's looking to have a better night. And basically your whole top 10 is just guys who are trying to turn their luck around there, Brandon.
Yeah, absolutely. And, boy, you know, I keep throwing back to that last caution, but that really did put big implications on this race and really mixed things up as faces that we didn't even see up in the top 10 are now running and peeking into the top 5. So if these guys can pull off a good finish here tonight, that'll be big for the points battle.
Absolutely, and I wish I hadn't lost the points page. I can't find it right now, but it definitely is going to shake up the points. And like you touched on just now, a lot of these guys, especially in the top 10, that haven't had good finishes in the last 2 races, either wrecked out or whatever, looking to maybe jump up this week and finish and have a really good finish, put themselves back into the points race. Now this is a short series, so if they're they could be too far out or too far gone in the points, I guess. But still having a great finish is something to be proud of. And I'll tell you what, the 84 car was so sideways on exit just now, coming off turn, I think it was 1 and 2. I could see his number from the side. So that was a great save. Tommy Ryan is going to take advantage, as is Yoakum on the outside. They're going to get by him, but that was a great save for the 84 of Calantoni.
Yeah, it was. He gathers the back up, and no harm, no foul, other than a couple of positions lost there. But these guys just trying to ride right now, and that's smart. So I think probably within just a few laps here, we could see pit stops starting to commence as long as this race stays green. And I said it before, the very first run had a pretty good green flag vibe to it, but all it takes is one car getting squirrely, and it's really easy to do here, especially as your tires start to wear out.
Oh, absolutely. And you said pit stops could be happening, and again, it also, I mean, we don't know who took tires already and who didn't, but we know some people are definitely going to be taking tires on that next pit stop, because we're up to almost the three-quarter mark now, well past halfway. We're 14 laps past halfway now. So that will be something interesting to see as well, is who takes that final set of tires and how it helps them proceed or progress for the rest of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. My eye is going to be on the last 40 laps of this thing. That's when guys are going to try to make the more gutsy moves. They've lasted 100 laps in this thing already at that point, and they're going to want to go. So especially if they're going to have any shot at catching up to your top three, which our third place driver even is still 2.5 seconds away from fourth. So those guys are all riding under a blanket as you see one of the slower cars entering pit road now, and these guys are all going to start to think about coming in and getting themselves set up for that last stint.
Yep, absolutely. And I was finally able to get the point standings, and our points leader, Richard Beasley, was one of the guys caught up in that wreck. Second place, Mike Montesi is still out there. Third place, E.J. O'Rourke didn't even show up tonight. Bentley Glazer, our fourth place points runner, is having a great run tonight. And fifth place, Daniel Falkingham, is leading this race currently. So points weren't too badly affected by that massive pileup earlier. But, hey, it's still a young race, Brandon. Who knows what's going to happen in the last 50 or 60 laps of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Gerald Livingston, he is the first car to pit here on the lead lap. He did manage to make his way into pit road, and he'll be on his way back out here shortly. So you see him entering the racetrack once again. He'll get 4 fresh fuel goods and enter back out onto the racetrack on the back straightaway, and he's going to try to start out our green flag pit stop run here.
Yeah, we should start seeing a lot of guys jump in here pretty soon, like you said, and get this green flag pit stop out of the way. And, man, it looks like we could. I'm not even going to say it. I don't want to do the announcer's jinx. I'm not even going to say it.
Strategy-wise, looking at it, would you rather wait it out as long as you can, or would you rather be one of the first cars in?
It depends on where I'm sitting at.
I guess me personally, if I'm up front of this thing, I want to try to wait, a decent amount of time. I guess play it out, see what the cars around me are doing, but the leader's always kind of the dummy in the situation. Everybody's going to try to look and see what he's doing, and whatever he's doing, they're going to do the opposite. They're going to try to get that one up on him. So, hopefully, our producer's trailer, I think, just jinxes saying caution free the rest of the way. I was going to try to ignore that fact.
So, we can blame him, right, Brandon?
Yeah, we can blame him now. But no, these guys doing a fantastic job so far. And as I was saying, whatever the leader does, look out, contact down the back straight away.
Oh, is he going to save it?
To gather it back up. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Car 84.
am Anthony Calantoni right now, I am angry. I am very, very angry.
It looked like a whole racing deal, though. They both came out of corner exit, and we've seen it so many times already here tonight. Both those cars got a little bit squirrely, and he ended up getting sent square up the racetrack into the outside wall, but looks like little to no damage on that race machine, so he should be all right. Maybe a little bit of right side damage that I see, but that's nothing.
Well, that looked like, I don't know, is that the 7 car of Donnie Lee that was contact with? I'm amazed that Donnie Lee is able to run that fast. I mean, his car was demolished last time we saw it. Remember, he didn't even have a front end after that big wreck we saw. And here he is in 12th on the lead lap, making passes with still no front end.
Yeah, I'd give his pit crew a promotion there. Yeah, they did fantastic, and well, he's still running pretty strong for what it is. Obviously, a little bit off the pace still, but he's still running lead lap and looking pretty good so far. So looking
look at that.
looking
I'm
just
just so
outside of the top
impressed by
10 for
that.
him. Yeah, still missing that nose piece there, but you know, really impressive run even for the condition of that number 7 car. Donnie Lee out just outside the top 10 and looking in about position number 12 at the moment. So.
And he just passed up Beasley for that position also. So he's definitely doing some good time right there. I'm amazed. Is the timing correct? I mean, is he really on the lead lap?
Yes, he is. Timing is correct. And you had 18 cars on the lead lap. He's running 12. That's impressive for a car we know.
That's crazy. That's I'm so
looks like they slapped the hood back on and called it a day.
Yeah, and I mean he's fast and he's competitive. I'm almost a little let down by this car model, to be honest with you. Seriously, if I'm out there driving and a guy with no front end passes me up, I'm parking the car and going to get drunk. I'm just saying.
Well, you know,
what's the point? You know, I mean, come on.
Well, who knows? He may got some tricks up his sleeve. The Hirschberg of that car. So, but you see a couple of guys battling out now.
Maybe.
Yeah, right. Looks like Wetzel and Williams going to battle it out here as these guys fighting for positions. But remember, well, I'll say it again. Just remind everybody, you still got one more round of pit stops. It's going to have to happen here. I don't think these guys are going to be able to make it all the way to the checker flag on fuel. So that's why you're not seeing a whole lot of action right now. But these guys starting to reel in that 40 to go mark, and I think that's going to be go time for a lot of these drivers.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head there, Brendan. Yeah, once we pass up the 100-lap mark and get closer to 40 to go, we'll start seeing the leaders, especially, start diving in and getting fresh tires and full tank of fuel. I believe that full tank of fuel will help this. Oh wow, Wetzel gets so close to the wall and exit. That's like the third.
Big wreck. Caution on the speedway. Big time wreck into turn number 1. Car went head on to the outside wall, and he got collected hard. Wow. So there's the
goes all the pit strategy we were talking about.
Looks like that's going to be the 33 of Justin Carey. See what happened here. He's riding along here, and the wreck happened into turn 1. You can already see front end damage on that race car. He got loose all the way down the front straightaway. He carried it, and oh man, I don't know what happened there, but it looked like he collected, I believe, what is that, the 40 of Charles Woods? That is the 40 of Charles Woods that he collected, and hard contact by both of those drivers.
Yeah, he came up off of 4 there and just got loose and was chasing it all the way down the front stretch. And as it got down into 1, he caught some traction and just went straight to the right up into the outside wall. In the meantime, everybody's on pit road, Brandon. There goes the question of who's going to do what when. All these guys are bringing down and get their tires and gas. Let's see if anybody screws up their pit stop. That's going to be the big telltale right here.
Hey, you're looking for easy into the box here. Easy into the box and hard off of pit road. You don't want to get caught speeding either because that'll lead to the end-of-line penalty. And you don't want to see that either.
Oh.
So these guys up on the jacks right now. Right side's first, left side's next. And look at those 4 fresh feel goods. I see maybe a couple of 2-tire stops too, John. That could have something to say in this race also.
I don't know if I'd do a 2-tire stop, but it looks like that's what Bobby Wetzel, the 9 car, did. Or maybe he didn't take any tires. He may have taken tires earlier. We don't know that, either. But that's going to give him the lead, it looks like, coming out of the pits.
I saw that car up on the jack, and he took right sides and dropped, and away he went. So 2-tire stop. Looks like cars in front of them maybe wave around cars here, but 2-tire pit stop for car number 9. This is going to be interesting off the restart. He's got a lot of fast guys behind him, but you know what? You got to do what you got to do to try to get yourselves up front here. And pit strategy is a great way to do that. He's
Absolutely.
shown really good
I
speed
mean,
tonight so far. He's been on the lead lap, running good lap times all night. These guys have all been really close all throughout this field, so it should be interesting.
it should be. And let's not forget, if he remains leader, but I don't know, is Kevin DeBrown the leader? It looks like Kevin DeBrown's out there in front of him. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Yeah, so Kevin Brown did stay out in the 93.
Yes, he
and
did.
remember, he's got a little bit of damage on that race machine. So
yeah, and he's been out for 45 laps compared to these guys. 45 laps. Yeah.
This is shaping up to be a very, very interesting restart. You know, but Kevin is showing some really good speed all night too.
Yeah, and what I was starting to say for Bobby applies to Kevin just as well. He gets to control the restart, and he's going to call his lane. He's calling the outside lane, so he gets to go when he wants to. So that's in his favor. Also in his favor, I guess, if you want to look at it this way, is once he's out in front, he can get down that bottom line, and we know how hard it is to pass here at Dover. But wow, man, how much you want to bet? How far? Let me ask you this, Brandon. How far do you think we'll get on this little stint right here before we see a caution flag?
I think we can make it maybe 6 or 7 laps. I think the only reason I say that is because I think you have a couple of damaged race cars up towards the front of this thing. Some of these guys are not going to be as patient, and I think you're going to see some muscling around going on. So that's where you're going to have trouble, is these guys trying to muscle their way through amongst these couple of cars that have a little bit of damage on them, and that's where you get yourselves into trouble. That's where the big wrecks happen.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you on that. And then you factor in the fact, like you said, when we go back to green, we're going to have 36, 35 laps to go. That's going to go by fast here at Dover. They're doing 22-second laps, Brandon. That's almost 3 laps a minute. So you break that down. I mean, this is going to fly by fast. So there's going to be guys that know that and know that they're fast. They're not going to want to be patient. So I foresee some damaged race cars, more damaged race cars, before this is over.
Yeah, and we try not to hope for that, but these guys, it's going to provide a really interesting restart here. So. Mm-hmm. Your front row ready to fire off. These guys stacked up, doubled up, ready to go. Kevin Brown, Bobby Wetzel, you're going to be your front row. And Brown's going to be your control car here. He's going to wait. They fire off. Green flag is back in the air.
I think the 9 spun some tires there and bottlenecked everybody. Falkingham dives down the inside. They make it 3 wide. A little contact between Coleman and Wetzel there, but everybody keeps it straight. In the meantime, up front, the Brown's got his hands full. Glazer has gotten by on the outside. Falkingham's looking to the outside, going through 3 and 4, try and make that pass. He does not want to let Glazer get too far away here. And I tell you, we saw that coming, though, Brandon. We saw that coming.
Glazer found the gap, and he shot through it there, and that left Falkingham in the dust. So now Falkingham in the car 39 is going to have to try to reel Bentley Glazer back in, and well, this is what I was talking about. A couple of these damaged race cars on old tires, they're going to fall back, and these guys really trying to muscle their way around them, trying to get past these cars as quick as they can.
DeBrown has gone from 1st to 12th, it looks like, all the way back to 12th in a matter of 2 laps on those old tires. He's got really old tires on there, and so we're seeing the result of that. In the meantime, back up front, Glazer's got himself a 0.3 of a second lead over Falkingham, but how long can he hold on to it, folks? That's going to be the story. Now, we know Bentley's fast, and we know Daniel's fast. It's going to be interesting.
Wrecked down the back straightaway. One car hard to the inside wall. 2 cars now collected. Look out the rest of the field.
Oh, he's going to pull
down. That's going to yoke him around.
And he got somebody else there. I didn't see who the other car was. I think it was the 3 car.
That looked like a single-car incident to start, and as we look at the incident replay here, there was another car that ended up getting collected in that, but one car shot down hard to the inside wall. So we look, Randy Yoakum, he's just cruising, but off of turn 2, that's when calamity hits. You'll see him here. And he got loose, shot up the track, and that's the 10 car.
Got Richard Beasley in the 10 car. Yep.
Not as much
that's
damage
unfortunate,
to car
folks.
10,
that's your points leader.
Man, he whaled that inside safer barrier there. And I think that's going to end his night as well. So he's going to have to take a trip to the virtual infield care center after that hit. Has probably rattled his can a little bit.
And that's unfortunate. That is our points leader. Richard Beasley in the 10 car, the Tide Ride, is the points leader. And there's your shakeup on points we were talking about.
So, well, that leaves your original front row once again from the start of this race, but they flip-flopped. So Bentley Glazer, for the first time off this restart, is going to be your control car. Daniel Falkingham going to be back behind him, and obviously I don't expect any of these guys, other than the ones that had stayed out previously, to pit. But, you know, this is go time. This is when you have to drive. This is where you're going to start seeing the hard side-by-side battles all the way around this place, and it could be where things get ugly, but I think these guys up front are going to have a nice, solid race all the way to the finish, as long as there aren't any more cautions.
I have to agree with you on that. These two are fast, and they're I wouldn't say they're overly aggressive. They're just, you know, they're almost what's the word I'm looking for? They're patient to a point. And Glazer's got the lead. All he has to do is make sure he keeps Falkingham behind him. But that's going to be the problem. Now, he also gets to control the restart. And we said this many times tonight. The guy that controls that restart usually gets out in front, and that'll help him out a little bit there. I wonder if he's going to choose the outside, do you think?
It'll be interesting. I don't know. We've seen a couple of guys pull it off already tonight, choosing that outside lane. So, but I think this is Bentley's first restart as the leader here tonight. So it will be interesting. I'm going to guess he chooses the bottom here. You know, I think that's where he's had the best momentum, is off the bottom lane, and I think that's where he's going to feel most comfortable here, you know, especially given they've already put a little bit of a heat cycle on these tires. So it'll be an interesting restart again.
Yeah, and let's see. They've been out. Most of them have been out on track since lap 101 when they put on that last restart. So these tires only have 20-something laps on them. Still a lot of life left in those tires, Brandon. It should be a pretty good restart.
Yeah, absolutely. So hoping to maybe get the one to go this time around. See what happens.
Famous Amos Cookies right there in third place. Now I want a glass of milk and some cookies.
Can we just talk about some of these faces that are up in the top 10, or at least back in the top 10? Look at Donnie Leah. Up there, back up to 6 after the hard contact with the outside wall. He's back up to 6th position. You got Chad Coleman up there in 4th. You got Robert Frieri up in 5th. Mike Montesi hanging on pretty strong back there, up in the 3rd position. Obviously, you got Glazer and Falkingham up 1 and 2. Christopher Williams back there in 8th. Stoney Benfield's rounding out your top 10 up there. Roland Hollandfield up in 9th. A lot of new faces up in this top 10, and I'm living for it.
Yeah, I was going to say Stoney has come up 15 spots from the starting spot there. And he's looking at a good finish tonight, too. He hasn't had a whole lot of luck in the last couple weeks, I should say, in this series. He's had 1 start and, I guess, 1 DNF. So he's looking to have a better run tonight than he has initially at the series. And here we go, double stacking them up there, Brandon. Got the 1 to go, lights are off on the pace car.
Pace car going to duck down to the safety of pit road this time by the field. Stacks up and doubles up back behind your front row. Bentley Glazer chose the outside. He's going to be your control car off the restart. Away he goes. Green flag is back in the air. 29 laps to go.
Great restart by Mr. Glazer in that 18 car. He jumps out to a 4 or 5 car length lead over Falkingham, but that could disappear in a hurry here at Dover. In the meantime, Coleman fits right there in 3rd, takes that 3rd place away from Mike Montesi in the 21 car. Mike is holding on to 4th right now, but look at that. He's got Donnie Leah in that noseless 7 car in 5th place. Breathing down his neck, though, is Tommy Ryan in the 99.
Yeah, these guys, this is when it's go time, and I know especially for Daniel Falkingham, these guys he's trying to ride right on that back bumper of Bentley Glazer. He's about a 1/10 of a second back away, but I'm sure he's going to try to save up just a little bit of what he has here for the very end of this thing. This thing has a good potential of going green the rest of the way. I don't want to jinx it, but it's got a good vibe to it so far.
Absolutely. It's going to be 25 to go this time by as we go through 3 and 4. And you saw it right there. Tommy is going to do the same thing, or looking to do the same thing, as they go down into 1 and 2 right here. They'll get right up on that back bumper and probably try to cut it low on exit and make the pass on the back stretch. In the meantime, up front, Falkingham has gotten by Bentley Glazer for the lead. So put Daniel Falkingham back up front. Daniel has led most of this race, folks, and I guess he just didn't want to see anybody else do any leading.
Well, Daniel Falkingham, he is my pick to win this race, but Bentley Glazer is not letting him go. He's staying right in the tire tracks, and well, they were battling it out for the lead there just for a short moment. That allowed your third and fourth place drivers to close in, and now a battle for that third position back there. Two cars going to be side by side. That's car 21 trying to make the move out of turn 4 this time, and it looks like he's going to be able to make it stick. And look out, here comes the 99 machine ducking below him.
Wow, Tommy Ryan drove the car down hard into 1 and 2 right there. So he's going to make that pass, put him up to 4th place, move Chad Coleman back to 5th place in car 38. In the meantime, Donnie Lee is still hanging on back there in 6th. And, I'm really impressed with that. Again, I'm just dumbfounded how good that car is after losing most of its front end. In the meantime, back up in front, Falkingham still has the lead. But like you said, I think maybe Glazer was just letting him go so he could keep his tires a little cooler and not quite as roughed up. Maybe saving something for 10 to go.
Yeah, you don't want to use up your stuff, because all it takes is to heat up either your right front or your right rear just a little bit too much, and you're gonna fall back like a rock, through the field. So it's something to watch out for, especially up here racing as hard as these guys are, and even for your race leader, Falkingham has to watch how far he's pushing his race machine as well. He doesn't want to fall back too far.
You're absolutely right. And as they cross the line, that time is 20 to go. And we're getting down to it here, Brandon. And as you see, from 1st to 5th is a very short distance. They're all right there within striking distance. Coleman can end up winning this thing if the front guys end up messing up and saving each other out. So this is going to be a great finish of the race right here. And I predicted it a minute ago, and I'm going to touch on it one more time. I think Glazer is just biding his time, waiting till at least maybe 10 to go, maybe 5 to go, before he makes his move. We'll see how it works out, though.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. And intensity is winding up just a little bit here as the laps tick down. It's going to be 18 to go this time when they cross the stripe. And boy, oh boy, do laps fly here at the Dover International Speedway. Top 4 cars still kind of under a blanket here. Your leader pulling away just a tad. But, I'm going to have to kind of agree with you saying that Glazer is just kind of biding his time a little bit, and maybe trying to save a little bit of that tire that he has left to really go at your leader within maybe 10 to go or so.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, that would be the smart play, or it could be he just doesn't have anything left. I mean, it's a 50-50 shot either way. But look at this. You got Montezi inching up a little bit there from 3rd place, eyeballing 2nd place. Maybe he's got something for Glazer in that 2nd place car. And he's got Tommy Ryan right there behind him, but it looks, wow.
Bentley Glazer got big time loose, and here is car 21, as well as a couple of others that closed right in on his back bumper. Mike Montesi going to maybe try to duck to the inside. He's going to look this time. Caution flag flies on the speedway. I'll throw everything I just said out the window as we got one car spun down to the infield grass. And
is that Stoney?
That is.
Oh no.
That is car 57. That's Benefield. Stoney Benfield. He was having a solid run, and let's see what happened here. Maybe a little bit of help for the 93. They were racing side by side, and that wasn't a little bit. That was a lot of help from the car 93, and he'll hit hard to the outside wall and spin all the way down to that infield grass. So a lot of contact and a lot of help there from car number 93.
Oh, we got guys on pit road. Do they have more tires?
This is something that I did not expect. So Mike Montesi, Robert Frieri, Kevin DeBrown, Doug Sigmund, and Gerald Livingston all stay out onto the racetrack. So top 5 stays out. Or now your now current top 5. Everybody else comes down pit road, including your 2 drivers that were just fighting it out for the lead. This is going to be an interesting restart. Here's where the intensity really ramps up. This is where the intensity really ramps up here, because now not only do you have guys that have been fast all night on fresh tires that are going to be trying to race it out for this win, now you've got 5 cars on old tires out in front of them. And not to say that they don't have speed. I look for guys like, for example, Mike Montesi, who is racing up there with them, but now he's on slightly older tires. Is that going to affect anything? We've seen that have a little bit of a play, but is it going to be enough?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm dumbfounded, because I could have swore somebody told me they only had 1 set of tires, and I know we saw Falkingham and those guys take tires the last time they were in the pits. So maybe I was wrong about that. But you're right. That's definitely going to come into play here. Or is it possible that 3 of our top 5 cars mistakenly went in thinking they had another set of tires and they don't? I don't know. I'm kind of confused, which isn't new. It happens a lot, but that's okay.
Well, either way, this is shaping up to be a really, really interesting end of this race. So, top 5 runs as follows: Mike Montesi, Robert Frieri, Kevin DeBrown, Doug Sigmund, and Gerald Livingston. And then it's your cars that had pitted. You got Donnie Leah up there, Daniel Falkingham, Bentley Glazer. I'm going to assume that Leah took 2 tires. Bentley Glazer, Tommy Ryan. This is going to be real interesting. And
yeah,
I'm
really
honestly
interesting.
Just baffled.
Great way to put it, Brandon.
I'm baffled that those guys pitted in general, to be honest with you, because
yeah. Wow.
Okay, so confirming we had 3 sets of tires here to use tonight. That was their last set then that our leaders just used. So, yeah, we did confirm that was their last set of tires. Confirmed by Donnie Leah.
Thank you, Donnie, for the heads up, by the way, if you're listening. Well, I apologize for that, Brandon. That's my fault, man. I don't know where I got that number 1 from, that they have 1 set.
No,
that's my mistake. But
I like 3 sets. It creates a little bit more strategy, and I'm still kind of baffled that some of those guys pitted, but at the same time, it could be a smart move. But now they've got 5 cars to navigate through, that may be a little bit slower, especially a couple of these guys up here have a little bit of damage on their noses. Got to watch out for it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'd
they've
say
only
we have
got
1 more
10 laps
caution
to do
here.
it, too.
I think this may lead to 1 more caution here to finish out the night, but we're going to see these guys get stacked up, doubled up, and ready to go back green flag racing this time. Go ahead, take it away, John.
Well, here we go, folks. They're stacked up, ready to go. The pace car's lights are off. You've got a mixture up front. You got Mike Montesi and Frieri on the front row, Sigmund DeBrown next row back, and then Leah and Gerald Livingston in that row. And here we go, folks. The pace car is about to duck down on the pit road. Come through 3 and 4 right now, and we'll see who gets the jump here on the start. The 21 on the outside, 77 on the inside. And there goes Montesi, the control car. He gets out there. Great restart. He's going to put some gap between himself. Now, who we're going to be looking at here, folks, are the guys back there in 5th, 6th, and 7th, and 8th. They're the ones with tires, and they were also the ones leading this race up to that last restart.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my gosh.
Look at this gaggle of race cars back behind him. Almost 3 wide. Around goes Glazer. Glazer goes around. Big, big, big wreck. 1 car upside down.
My goodness. And
big
we saw that
implications.
Coming,
and what did I tell you? What did I tell you? Those cars staying out led to quite the race implication for a couple of your fastest cars. And you can see right off the rip, a couple of those guys spun their tires. The 0-4 up there, it looked like he didn't get the best of the restarts. And all of a sudden, they find themselves in a situation. They're 3 wide right here. Then out of 2. You don't want to be 3 wide off the corner, but that's exactly what happened. Glazer got a little bit of a tap there, set up to the outside wall. Oh,
Man.
man.
Yeah, that sure was. That was
Looks like
that's unfortunate. It looked like he had a little help from Falkingham coming out of the turn there.
watch it one more time here on the aerial view. Get a good look at exactly what happened. Your leader fires. The 0-4 kind of spins his tires a little bit. That stacks everything up right off the rip here. So now these guys are under a blanket. There's about 20 cars under a blanket right here. You see Glazer, Falkingham up behind Tim. See if there's any contact. A little bit of contact. There was a tap right there. That's what sent Glazer up the racetrack into the 0-4. And a huge wreck going into turn 3 down the back straightaway. That's going to end your night for Glazer, as well as a few others that were up battling within the top 5 all night long.
Mm-hmm. That's a shame. That really is. I hate to see that, but we kind of knew that was going to happen, Brandon, because you had a bunch of guys up there with old tires, really old tires. Then you had some guys mid-pack with brand new tires, and not a lot of time to get to the front. I'm not saying they were impatient at all. They just didn't have time, to mess around. If you're going to take the win and you got the equipment to do it, you've got to try and navigate through that traffic. And unfortunately, it didn't work out so well for several cars, and that's just really disappointing to see. But you know who's not disappointed? Is that 21 car right there, Mike Montesi. That means he gets to stay up front a little bit longer, gets to control that restart again, and who knows if they go back to green with 5 or less to go and they stay green, he could pull off the win here.
Yeah, so now we find ourselves in a situation we're going to have a 6 or 7 lap dash to the end of this race, and it's going to be interesting for sure. So these guys are probably going to get 2 go this time.
I think they have one attempt at a green-white checkered.
One attempt at a green-white check? Okay, so yeah, these guys, it'll be interesting. And Falkingham is still back there in 5th. He's still got 5 cars to go through to get back up to the front if he wants this win. And he's been dominant all night.
Well, that's an interesting choice of words, Brandon.
He's still got 5 cars to go through.
I mean,
well,
kind of like he went through that other car.
That whole deal, I think, was a racing incident. You're racing hard,
I mean,
trying to push your way up through, and it was a tough scenario, and all it takes is a little bit. That's all it was. It was just the smallest tap onto the back of Glazer's bumper, and that was enough to send him up the racetrack. But you still got slower cars in front of you. What are you gonna do? I mean, you got to get
right.
up
I'm
there
not saying he
now.
did it on purpose. Not at all. No.
Oh no!
It's
I'm not
definitely going to
saying
make
that.
for an interesting race.
Just, yeah, absolutely. All it takes now, we know, all it takes is just that little bit of contact on corner exit, and you got these slower cars in front of you still. You know that you're faster than a good chunk of these guys, and Montesi's loving this right now. He's living the dream up front. He's going to have clean air. He's going to have cars holding back. Probably, arguably, the fastest car in this race that we've had all race. So, it'll be interesting. But lights up out on top of the iRacing official pace car, and these guys get us head back green this time.
Okay, so this restart is going to be a crazy one. Can we agree on that, Brandon?
Yeah, I can agree on that. Not that the last one wasn't crazy, but
it's definitely going to be crazy.
This is going to get kind of hectic.
And if I'm not mistaken, no, you picked the 39 car to win, right?
Yeah, I did, and he's back in the 5th position now, so we'll see what happens. But pace car getting ready to pull off. John, go ahead and take it away.
Yes, sir. Pace car is getting ready to pull off. You got Mike Montesi on the outside again. He's the control car, meaning he gets to go when he wants. Once the pace car is off the concrete, down on the inside, the 77 car looking great down there. That 77 car is. That's Robert Friere the third. Donnie Leah is up there in 4th now with no nose on that car. Here we go. And there's the green flag. You get a great start by Mark Montesi. He's going to pull out to a pretty decent lead right there. About 5 car lengths between himself and 2nd place. Lee is going to duck down in 3rd, but he's got some challenge. He's got a challenge down there. Kevin DeBrown on the inside trying to take 3rd place away from him. And look who's on his bumper. You got Falkingham with those fast cars and new tires. Oh, Lee is a little out of shape right there.
It was almost almost a 3-wide situation there. These guys are really trying to battle it out. Look at the car 39. He's up to 4th now. Falkingham trying to muscle his way through. He got a little bit loose. That's going to allow Leah to duck underneath him. But I'll tell you, Montesi has not run away from this thing like I thought it was going to. Around goes Leah. Big wreck down the back straightaway. Caution flag flies once again. Track is blocked. One car barrel rolling down the back straightaway. Oh, no.
Wow.
More of your fast cars taken out of this thing. Miles the Monster really taking a lot of these guys away. One car still upside down now the back straightaway. And we'll look at the Pulse Poppers instant replay. We'll have to see what happens here. See if he had any help here. And contact right there between him and Falkingham. And Falkingham's going to be out of this thing now. Leah is out of this thing. One car hard barrel rolling down the back straightaway. Who was that? That barrel
was Williams
rolled?
in the 09.
Christopher Williams. Yeah, you're right. And we're going to ride on board with Williams. Oh, boy. You see him. Yeah, he was actually running pretty good. He was gaining spots. He worked his way up to the 5th position. You better pull that helmet strap tight because he's about to go for a wild ride here on the onboard camera. And they get together in front of him. Sees almost parted into the inside wall hard, and he gets hit one more time to send him on his lid. And that's where he's going to park.
I went off this ride.
Roller coaster of a ride for Williams. And we're going to have to go through one more restart. Now, these guys do have a timer on this race. The timer is now below the 10-minute mark. So we've got time for, I think, one more restart if we have any chance of finishing out the whole race here. So I don't think we're going to get any attempts at any sort of green, white, checker or overtime situation. I think the timer is going to say otherwise, but we've got one more restart at least.
I'm astounded at how violent that wreck was. That was insane, man.
So these guys.
Well, I'll tell you who's happy to see that is that 21 car.
I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. I think he was hoping to ride that thing out because, you know, he did have challengers, but they weren't quite fast enough to get underneath him. But now he's got one more restart to go to. He's probably going to choose the outside again. He has to make sure he gets the jump on these guys. Otherwise, he's going to run into issues, and he's going to have a challenge for this lead because the guys behind him are not slow by any means.
No, but what I was referring to is the fact that the fastest car on the track, and you got to admit, he was the fastest car on the track, Falkingham, is taken out. He had the newest tires out of all those guys. He was really the only one that Montesi had to truly be worried about, and he's out of the picture now. Or is he?
You can see the damage on. Yeah, you can see the damage on Falkingham's race car. No nose or tail cover on that thing, and that's tough. You know, that was hard racing, and that's all it was hard racing. Those two guys just got into each other. Him and Leah got into each other, and for Williams, the C's almost parted in front of him, and that would have been really good for him. He would have been in a really good situation, Chris Williams. But
these cars look like they've been at 500 laps at Bristol.
I was gonna say Martinsville, but yeah, we're on the same page here.
Yeah.
Dover is not a forgiving racetrack, you know.
Not at all.
It's an interesting. It doesn't race like a speedway, but it also doesn't race like a short track. You know, it's got its own unique personality, and we always find quite a few torn up race cars. But we're gonna have one more restart here as lights are out up on top of the iRacing official pace car. So. Front row, you're going to have Mike Montesi as your leader. Robert Frieri going to be to his inside. Your control car is going to be that 21 machine up on the outside. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here off of this restart.
Look at the
These
cars
guys going to want to just go. It's incredible, isn't it? Falkingham is And he's restarting 6th on the outside. That's the car I was just looking at. Unreal.
You got Chad Coleman is at 4th with no front end.
Yep. So these guys get ready to roll once again. Pace car pulls off to the safety of pit road, and I don't blame him. And Montesi is going to fire. Green flag is back in the air.
Green flag is in the air. That's a great start by Montesi there, Brandon. Exactly what he needed to do.
Yeah, it is. And he's going to try to pull away just a little bit out front.
Caution's out.
Caution flag flies again. See what we had on the instant replay here. We're thinking it was Sigmund in the 0-4. See what happens. He's had a rough couple of restarts here. And yeah, he didn't fire. That car's under power or something. He didn't fire again and gets turned down the front straightaway. Oh man. Talk about a hard few hits by car 40.
There's a bunch of guys right now, Brandon, being thankful that this is a sim racing event and
oh my gosh,
real life race.
That would have been concussion central there. Poor Charles Woods. He's been in a couple of hard ones here tonight.
Oh, definitely, man. Some of these impacts have just been brutal. Brutal. Right? Oh, my goodness.
So, 4.5
I don't know
minutes
that we're going to go back to green here,
left
Brandon.
on the clock. Well, see, I think what's going to happen, they're under caution. I think we'll get one more shot at a restart here. And it could very well be a green and white together instead of a green and white checkered. So, we'll see what happens here for these guys. But Mike Montesi going to have to get through one more restart, I think.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know that I've ever seen or been a part of a race that ran out of time. So I don't know what happens when the timer ticks down to 0.
Typically what happens is they'll let them get through one more restart. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. Is I think they may get through one more restart before throwing the checkers. And I think it's going to end up being a green and white together. Either way, we're going to end up in overtime, I believe. So we're going to end up in an extra lap situation.
I think we're already in overtime.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Well, I mean, the last restart, it stayed at 3 to go the entire time they circled under caution. So that tells me that they were already in overtime. And it's doing the same thing here. It hasn't changed from 3 to go at all. So how much time do we have left, producer? Minutes on the clock. Okay. So, Brandon, I think you're right. I think we'll get one more restart.
Yeah, I think there's going to be 2 to green right here. The next time they circle around, the lights will go out. And I think our current leader, Mike Montesi, is going to have to get through one more restart. And now, sometimes, folks, this is a guessing game for us as much as it is for you at home. So bear with us here as we try to figure this out.
Ooh, it's going to be close.
Yeah. I think either way, it will give the option for us to give back green, especially once we're once we're under 1 to go, and I think they'll hit that this time. A lot of fast cars out of this thing, though, man. Look at some of the perseverance by some of these guys, though. I mean, Kevin Brown's been in a couple of incidents. Donnie Leah, especially, has been in his car's seen way better days. Some of these guys up front, Richard Beasley, up towards the front of this thing, he's holding the top 5 right now. Gerald Livingston up in the 6th position. Kevin England up in 7th. Bobby Wetzel holding 8th right now. He's been in a couple of wrecks tonight as well. Perseverance, man. And I believe there's only 8 cars in the lead lap anymore. Yeah, there's only 8 cars in the lead lap now, by the way.
Not surprised at all by that fact. And I'm telling you, the 2 cars that I'm rooting for now, the 2 guys up front, they both want to have this finish. They want this over with right now. They don't want to go back to green at all. Mike Montesi, Mike Montesi and Robert Freire III, especially Robert, he's had a rough couple of weeks in this series. Montezi has too. Montezi's, had some fast race cars and some decent finishes, but he'd like to put away the win. So I'm rooting for these guys for this thing to just finish up. And look at Donnie Leah up there in fourth place. Oh, wow. What a race.
These guys are going to have one more shot at a restart. Your front row, Mike Montesi on the outside. He's going to be your control car. Robert Frieri going to be on his inside. 1 minute on the clock. This is definitely going to be the last attempt at a restart. Pace car is going to duck off this time into the safety of pit lane. Keep an eye on car 2-1 on the outside front row. Pace car ducks in. Field is in the hands of the car 21, and he's going to gas her up. Green flag is back in the air. We're going to hit 2 to go at the stripe.
We got a great restart by the 21. They're running out of time. This is going to do it, folks. This will be the final restart right here. He got a great start, but look at that. The 77 and the 93 are kind of drafting together to catch up to him. Oh, my goodness. He gets a little high right there. He's going to open the door for the 77 car. Sorry, go ahead.
Here comes Frieri down low. One more time around the Dover International Speedway. White flag flies, and your leader, Mike Montesi, he's got company. He has company up front. Here comes the 10 car of Beasley. He's going to try to make a shot at it. 3 wide back there for second. This time out of 4. It looks like he's going to be able to secure it. Your winner here at Dover is going to be Mike Montesi. They wreck across the line. Beasley in second, Frieri third, Leah fourth. Kevin DeBrown rounding out the top 5. Unreal.
That was insane. Look at Beasley. Beasley's our points leader. He was involved in a huge accident about 20 or 30 laps ago, and here he is finishing third. That's impressive. But congratulations to Mike Montesi on that win.
Can we talk about that finish, though? Those guys were three, almost 4 wide for the second position, and all of a sudden Montesi had company by 2 cars right beside him, and I think he's going to burn the house down here.
Wow.
Unbelievable victory for the car 21, and man, oh man, I think we're gonna try to take a little bit of time here, folks. We're gonna run through the results real quick and then step away for a moment. But oh man, your post-race results. In an unbelievable finishing fashion, Mike Montesi going to be your race winner. Richard Beasley going to be finishing it out second. Robert Frieri going to be finishing in that third position. Fourth is going to be Donnie Leah. Kevin Brown going to be finishing out in that 5th position. Bobby Wetzel finishing 6th. 7th is going to be Kevin England. Gerald Livingston finishing out 8th. 9th is going to be Stoney Benfield. Rounding out the top 10 is going to be Chad Coleman. John?
11th place goes to Daniel Falkingham, who led most of this race but got caught up in a late race incident. Doug Simmons in 12th. Chris Williams in 13th. Ron Hollyfield, 14th. Bentley Glazer, 15th. Last week's winner went out a bad wreck, finishing 15th there. Anthony Calantoni, 16th. Tommy Ryan, 17th. J. Randall Watkins, 18th. Jeff Ryan, 19th. Randy Yoakum, 20th. Brandon?
Finishing in that 21st position is going to be Justin Carey. Charles Wood's going to be finishing 22nd. 23rd is going to be Jose Gonzalez with tough finish. He was up front some of the night. Jimmy Coleman's going to be finishing in that 24th position. 25 is going to be Joey Jatina. John Fowler finishing in that 26th position. 27th is going to be Mike Kelly. Tyler Hunter finishing 28th. Shannon Wood's going to be finishing in that 29th spot. And Tyler Dalton rounding out the field in the 30th position. And 31st, rounding out the field, is going to be Brian Tiffany. Now, folks, that is your quick results. I think we're going to step away here just for a brief moment, gather our thoughts, and gather our interviewees, and we'll be right back with you. Stay tuned.
Alright, give us a mic check. I think we got you.
Mic check 1, 2. Okay, perfect. Hello and welcome back, race fans, to LSRTV, your home for sim racing since 2012. And well, now that we've gotten a chance to catch our breath, I think John's down there with your third and second place finishers, John.
That's right, John Mushton down here on pit road with some winded, beaten, and bruised drivers. We're going to start this one off with Rob Frieri the third. Rob, talk to me, buddy. You had a third place run tonight. You kind of, I wouldn't say you came out of nowhere, but you didn't show up in that top 5 to the latter part of the race. How'd it feel for you tonight, bud?
It felt pretty good. It started off tight. I tried to protect the right front. I think it was the second or third pit stop where I took the second set of tires that things really got good, and I was able to rotate the center and really drive off. And I think I drove from like 12th to 6th, and then I kind of just stayed there. And then we had some attrition up front, but otherwise it was really good.
Well, I just want to say real quick, I love your paint scheme. I like the throwback that you got going on there. Is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to for your race tonight?
Just congrats to Mike. Mike is an old teammate of mine from many moons ago.
Well, they have folks, Rob Frieri. Am I saying your last name right, Rob? Frieri?
No, it's actually pronounced Frieri.
Frieri. Thank you so much for clearing that up for me, Rob. Congratulations again on your third place run. That, folks, is third place, and I'm going to move on down here to my man, Rick Beasley, the Tide Ride. Rick, rough night tonight, man, but it looks like you're going to maintain your points lead.
Yeah, man, it's nice to be on the other end of one of these. Usually we get tore up and we're done early, but it's nice to get tore up and still be around at the end to make a finish there.
Well, let's talk about being tore up, man. You took a whale of a lick in that accident, and I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Us guys up in the booth did not think you were going to make it back. We even mentioned, hey, that's the points leader. He's going to have a rough night today, blah, blah, blah. And lo and behold, here you are at the last 2 laps of the race fighting for first. That's amazing, my friend.
Yeah, I think I was involved in more than half the cautions tonight. We fixed about 2 minutes of damage and had a little bit of engine damage at the end there. It was down about 10 RPMs, but we were able to fight back, get the right cautions at the right time, and everyone else was able to wreck when I didn't, so that worked out for us.
Well, congratulations again on your second place finish. Is there anybody that you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank Tim's Corner Motorsports, all the guys down at Team Name, Jack Holman, Daniel Fockingham, Kevin DeBrown, all those guys wrecked pretty good tonight. And you guys up in the booth here doing a good job. And Mike, congrats on the win.
All right, folks, there you have it. Your second place driver, Rick Beasley, in the number 10 Tide ride. And I'm going to throw it over to Brandon, who's in victory lane with tonight's winner, Mike Montesi.
Yeah, I'm down here. Thank you, John. I made it down here into victory lane here at Dover National Speedway. Your race winner, Mike Montesi, is out of the race car now. And Mike, talk about a hectic race, man, all around. Tell us, go through your ups and downs. First of all, congratulations, but go through your ups and downs here tonight with us.
I didn't have too many downs, honestly. I kept moving forward. Restarts were not great at the beginning of the race, and then I started starting in first, and I had a lot better restarts towards the end of the race. So, but the car was clean. I didn't hit anything tonight, and we were pretty fast. We were in third, battling for. I wouldn't say I was battling for the lead there. I know Bentley or Daniel and Bentley had me covered most of the night, but I was hanging with them, so I had to pull that strategy at the end, and it paid dividends.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I got to talk about the last couple of restarts here because that was absolutely insane. You got put into that situation. You stayed out on those tires. Everybody else pitted in front of you. It was you in the top five, and a hectic couple of last restarts. What was going through your head there all the way to the end?
Well, I was really glad to see a couple of other cars stay out, and I was extremely glad it was Rob because I've known him for years, and I know he's the cleanest, one of the cleanest drivers I've driven with in sim racing. So I knew I was going to be run fairly. So that certainly, I wasn't nervous about that.
Well, you had a fantastic run tonight, Mike. Lastly, is there anyone that you'd like to thank or shout out to here tonight for your performance?
Just Sim Racing Mafia, Joey Gattina's team. Been with these guys for a few years now, and it's great running with them, and we've been getting better every week.
Awesome job. Congratulations once again. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your race winner here tonight at Dover National Speedway, Mike Montesi. And with that, folks, well, that about does it. John, talk about a hectic race tonight, huh?
Oh, no. That was a quiet race, man. What are you talking about? It was, yeah, it was a barn burner, man. I tell you, I was not disappointed in the excitement, you know? And we knew coming into this race, this was a big question mark for these guys. They haven't driven a lot of laps on this car, and they definitely haven't done it at Dover, which is the monster mile. I mean, say no more, you know what I mean? It's one of the most difficult tracks on the circuit to run. So we knew there were going to be some beating and banging going on. But other than that, I thought it was a fantastic race. Could have done with some less cautions, but like I said, they're working the bugs out. That's really what this series is all about, Brandon, is getting to know the car, getting a feel for how it runs and how it handles and whatnot. So I had a blast, man. Always a great time up here in the booth with you guys. This is my first time working with you, and I'm looking forward to doing it again.
Absolutely, and same to you. And, well, I think this is where we're going to close things out. We'd like to thank everybody here for tuning in tonight on LSRTV, and from myself, Brandon Cruz, John Mushkin, my co-commentator, Cody Wooten down there in the production studio, SIM500, and everybody that helps make these broadcasts possible. We say good racing and good night. See you next time.